Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Live. This is the Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Live at 2 p.m. And I am Mimi Palmer. I am one of the active administrators with the Girls Who Brunch Tour organization. Today, I come to you with Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book by T.P. Brooks. So I'm going to read some of these letters of encouragement. And I'll read the introduction to you and we'll get started, okay? So it says, introduction, 17 letters from 17 encouraging, inspiring, and motivating women. Throughout this book, you will be reminded of times and time again that you are powerful, strong, and that you were created to become and overcome. Women from all over the world and from all walks of life share stories of love, courage, and achievement in the following pages. You will read tips and guidelines on how to live a rich and full life, and you will learn lessons from women who were once just like you. These letters will make you laugh and cry. These women will tell you of all of the beauty of life and the values of self-love. So this is called, I'm reading from Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book by T.P. Brooks. 30 minutes on the Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Live takeover. All right, and I'll continue with the introduction. This is Letters of Encouragement. The scholarship book was compiled for two reasons. Number one, to inspire, motivate, and encourage teenage girls and young adult women, and to provide scholarship opportunities for the readers. The need to encourage and motivate young women is high, and the need for financial assistance with education is rising. Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book, meets both needs. The mission is to empower girls to be strong and vibrant women, to challenge them to look within themselves for the answers and to blame no one for their shortcomings. You will learn through these letters that you have every resource available to become whatever it is you want to be. You will learn that you can overcome any obstacle in life, and that learning to love yourself is the beginning of your success. Hey Tashi, thank you for joining. Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book, is a small tool that can help you earn money towards your post-secondary education. So after reading the letters, you're encouraged to write a brief essay about how you were inspired by one or more of the letters, or you can write an encouraging letter to share with other young women. In submitting the essay or the letter, you could possibly earn tuition towards books, earn money towards tuition or housing. And this is an easy and life-changing way to earn money towards education. And the essay requirements are included at the end of the book. So I'll see what happens. I only have 30 minutes. So hopefully I can, I'll get through as many as I can, and then there may be a part two. Your life is valuable and your cause is worthy. As one writer says, there are people who will help you, but you will have to carry the bulk of the load. This book is full of people who want to help you by sharing their stories. This is a wonderful time in your life, so approach it with enthusiasm. Hey, Vitamin D, what's going on? This is a wonderful time in your life to approach it with enthusiasm, embrace it with love, and await the rewards with anticipation. T.P. Brooks. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Smooth 99 Noob. Thank you. This is the Girls Who Brunch takeover. Facebook, can't get it out. Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Live takeover. I am doing an Instagram. I am reading to our audience today from Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book by T.P. Brooks. Okay, so to continue. There are people who will help you, but you have to carry the bulk of the load. All right. So she writes, her first letter is, Dear ladies to future leaders and future leaders, it's what you do with what you have that makes you what you are. She says, it's my mother's favorite mantra. Hattie Edmondson was the first to graduate in my family from high school. I am the second and the first to graduate from college. My mother truly believed and believes God didn't make any junk. So all of us have everything we need to succeed. But we have to plant the seed, water, and fertilize it and watch it grow. That translates to you being a good student and a good person. It means applying as much effort to your books as the efforts you put into your look. It means not giving in to peer pressure, but putting pressure on yourself to set goals and work toward them. It means believing you can be whatever you want to be. I believe the Reverend Jesse Jackson said, if you can conceive and believe it, you can achieve it. Your destiny truly is in your hands. There are people who will help you, but you will have to carry the bulk of the load. You will have to believe what my mother said, and I am an example that it works. It's what you do with what you have that makes you what you are, who you are. Who and what do you want to be? And how will you get there? The answers begin with believing in yourself and working hard. With love and respect, Monica Pearson, news anchor. So that was the first letter that was written by Monica Pearson. Hi, Sizzle Baby. Thank you for joining. For those of you who have just joined us, this is a Girls Who Brunch Tour, Facebook Live, and Instagram takeover from 2 to 2:30. Today I'm reading from Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book by T.P. Brooks. Hello, Magical Flowering Cookie. So yes, so this is what we do. Just to give you a quick brief introduction about the Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Live Takeover. This organization services young ladies ages 7 to 17 who are rescued from sex trafficking, that live in foster care group homes, homeless. We have a 22-city tour that we go on throughout the year, and we bring them STEM programs, inspirational, motivational workshops, and a host of other things. And being that we are now on these quarantine, we are doing the Facebook Live takeover. If anyone is interested in participating in this, please send me a DM and I will provide you with the information on how you can participate and encourage our young ladies to keep moving during this time, especially the ones that are out of school. So if you're interested, again, you can send me a DM. I'll send you a link to the calendar. It's a 30-minute session. You can read books. If you want to do a 30-minute workshop, you can do that as well. But I'm going to continue. The second letter. I was not to blame for his mistakes, his lack of good judgment, his failure and absence in my life. Dear beautiful ladies of the present and future, I want you to stop for a moment and think about all of the important men in your life. Think about the impact they've had on your life. Think about the significant roles they've played. Think about the times they made you laugh, cry, happy, sad. Just think about every emotion you have experienced with those men. It could have been your father, uncle, brother, grandfather, cousin, nephew, or even a friend. Men play such important roles in the lives of young ladies. As young ladies, we want to make men proud of us. We admire their strength and courage. We feel safe and secure with them, and we feel loved and cared for by them. These are the feelings I missed growing up as a young girl. I grew up in a small town with my mother and sister. My mother did the best she could raising two girls all by herself. She married my sister's father when I was 2 years old, and they divorced a few years later. After that, all my younger sisters and I were my mom and each other. All we had was my mom and each other. My sister and I had different fathers, and at least she knew who her father was, unfortunately. Hello, hello, thank you for joining. I didn't. The right letter writer goes, I had never met him and didn't know where he was or how to contact him. There were times I was curious about who he was and times I felt sad that he was not a part of my life. Every Father's Day, I remember feeling sad that I couldn't call my father and wish him a happy Father's Day or go outside and play with him like my other cousins and friends. There were a few times when I was about 7 or 8 years old that I remember talking on the phone with him. One time he told me he was coming to see me. I was so excited and told all my friends that I was finally going to meet my father for the first time ever. The day that he was supposed to come, it was on a Sunday. He called and said that he missed his flight from Milwaukee and wouldn't be able to make it. I remember feeling so hurt, disappointed, and embarrassed that I told everyone he was coming. That's when I decided to move forward and forget about him. Over the years, I grew up subconsciously thinking of him here and there. I was 30 years old, sitting at my desk at work one day when I received a phone call from a lady who asked me, "Do you know who Alvin Daniels is?" My heart started beating fast because I knew that was my father's name. I told her yes, and she told me that had been trying to find her father also. She had never met her father because she was adopted. At first, I thought this lady was going to tell me she was my sister, but then she told me that ironically, my father and her father had the same names. Instead of finding her own father, she found mine. After 30 years, my father and I finally met for the first time. It was something to experience. I had so many emotions: happiness, anxiety, anger, curiosity, confusion, but more than anything else, I had peace. Why did I have so much peace? Because for the first time, I didn't have to wonder what he looked like, how he felt about me, why he was never in my life, what was going on in his mind, etc. I was at peace because I knew that whatever the answer to all the questions, ultimately, I was not Alvin Daniels' child. I was God's child. I was not to blame for his mistakes, his lack of good judgment, his failure, and his absence in my life. I was not to blame for feeling hurt, embarrassed, and humiliated. I can't get it out. Humiliated because I didn't have a father growing up. I was at peace because I knew that despite all the obstacles I encountered as a result of not having a father around, God was my true father, and he was my security, my love, my shoulder to cry on, and the reason why I am who I am right now. There are so many wonderful fathers out there in the world. And for those of you who are fortunate enough to have one, you are the luckiest young ladies in the world. And for those of you who fall into my category, just know that your true father is always looking out for you at all times. He will never abandon you, hurt you, take you for granted, mislead or misguide you, humiliate or embarrass you. He will always love you, protect you, lead and guide you in the right direction, and give you strength and motivation when you need it the most. Take the experience of not having a father figure in your life and make it be your motivation to be the best, very best young lady and woman you can be. Don't use it as an excuse to fall into bad traps. We all experience those from time to time, but ultimately, let your true father excel against anything or anybody else. Ladies, always put your Father God first and know, and you will never lack a true father. And this letter was written by Keone Chansey, Manager of Medical and Scientific Communications. Hey, Donna, how are you? Again, thank you all. If you're just coming on for the Facebook Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Live takeover and Instagram Live, which I'm doing on my own, I am reading today Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book by T.P. Brooks. Okay, so these are letters that are written to inspire and motivate and encourage young ladies today. All right, I'm moving to the next one. We are both good and good enough. Dear Ray, as pregnancies go, mine was very smooth. No morning sickness, no fatigue, and except for the occasional back pain that radiated down my leg during the third trimester, no real discomfort. I really could have been pregnant for a year. My second pregnancy with your brother, well, that's a different matter altogether, and for a different letter. When you were born, my darling ray of sunshine, I was truly amazed. And not only was I in labor for a mere 4 hours with only 45 minutes of real discomfort, and it was real, but you, lovely little girl, came into this world so easily, happily, real cool. As I lay there holding you, I thanked God and cried tears of joy and felt such a huge sense of responsibility. You were mine to educate, support, and prepare to take on the world. I had so much to teach you, and there was so much to know. So much I didn't know myself. How was I going to do it? But you were so beautiful, perfect, and sweet. Surely, all I had to do was love you, and things would be just fine. You grew and we played silly games. We experimented with food and I laughed at the things you tried to get into. Baby proofing the house was easy, as was putting up the gates across the stairs and the doorways. I could keep you safe I could keep you safe and entertained, fed and loved, but I knew you needed more. So I read books, lots and lots and lots of books. What should your child be doing at 3 months, at 1 year, at 4? I even bought a book called Everything Your Child Needs to Know Before Going to College. It was 900 pages long. I got so distressed to finish because I didn't know half of was the book, what the book was, and I had been to college. All this did was make me feel inadequate as a mother. My job was to teach you and build you up morally. Your job was to listen and learn, but you almost never wanted to do that. At sometimes, I wanted to take you back to the hospital and not even ask for a refund. And why did it always have to be about the boys? I put so much time and energy into finding the right school for you. I really paid attention to your personality, the way you ask questions, what seemed important to you, how you best seemed to learn. Did you know or did you do better just listening? No. Working with your hands? Yes. Working in groups? Mostly. Working alone? Never. Did you seem to have leadership qualities? Yes. Did other kids gravitate towards you? Generally. Did you tend to follow others? Not often. I tried to understand what frustrated you and what you did when you got frustrated. I tried to understand what made you happy. Even now, good food still makes you wiggle in your chair. Then I tried to create the best learning environment for you, one that took advantage of your strengths and one where you could learn to manage your frustrations and still be productive. I used to tell you that given enough time and enough help, you can learn anything. I praised your accomplishments. And when you didn't understand something or made a mistake, I didn't berate you and tell you that you should know this by now. I just acted as though it was the first time so your confidence and spirit would remain intact and strong. But despite all the time and energy I spent helping you understand, I couldn't help you understand why in the fifth grade, Philip and Michael didn't like you and liked Rhea. I thought that was silly and dismissed it. And I missed an opportunity to get you even closer to you because that was what was important to you. Instead, you felt inferior to Rhea. and that made you mad. You began to lose confidence in yourself, and that made you even madder. And I got mad because you wouldn't listen or do your homework. Then came the girls. What is it with girls? The worst thing a mother can do is forget that she was a girl or a teenager. Mommy, am I pretty? Mommy, what's wrong with me? Mommy, is my nose too big? Am I smart? Am I dumb? Why isn't my hair different? Why doesn't Sarah Jane like me? How come I'm not popular too? Your question ran me over like a truck. Why were girls concerned with such trivial things? What? You were fine, beautiful, smart, just fine. You had lots of friends, you had good grades, you were involved in sports, music, and theater. Why wasn't that enough? And then it began to come back to me. 8th and ninth grade were miserable. My body hadn't caught up with my feet. I had braces and pimples. My braces had pimples. Every morning that before school was a wardrobe and hair crisis of biblical proportion. When the cool girl had a party and I wasn't invited, I was devastated, as if my entire life depended on being included by someone whom I really didn't think was all that cool, but others did. And that was all that mattered. My mother used to tell me, all that is important, dear, is being yourself and doing what you know is right and not being influenced by the mean, silly, and petty ways of the girls around you. Really? Be different? Outside the mainstream? What planet was she from? I knew she meant well. She was right, in fact, just not helpful. This is why God made grandmothers and aunties. My darling ray of sunshine, you ran to your aunties and my mother of all people. My mother's crazy, you cried. She just doesn't understand. She acts like she was never a teenage girl. They conf- they conf- they confronted you and nodded knowingly. She's doing the best she can, they said. She's only trying to protect you and help you grow. She's not trying to hurt you or mess up your life. Well, that's exactly what she's doing, you replied. My sisters and my mother shared stories of my childhood and theirs with you, and you saw some similarities to your own. Same issues, same people, same crazy teachers, stupid brothers, and mean friends. Same feelings and same out of touch mothers trying to do their best. They could explain things you could never hear from me. Mothers really do try to do their best, and they really are afraid of failing their daughters. Even the meanest mother may be mean because they honestly believe they're helping, and they are afraid their daughters will think they aren't good enough. Aunties and grandmothers, however, are smart enough to say, you'll appreciate her when you're an adult. They know all that matters is now. And so they told you to look around you and really look at yourself, who you are, what you've done. What's evident? They asked. Do you have that you're not good enough? Does it matter if certain people like you? Of course it does. But look at how these people treat other people. If they're mean to others, it's probably them, not you. Have you ever done something bad? Probably. But that was something you did, not who you are. And God, by the way, does not mark us for life because we did something bad. Forgive yourself and others and move on. Have you ever done something good? Of course. Yes. Magazines and TVs give us pictures of beauty. But have you ever seen a girl or a woman who didn't look like a model whom you thought was beautiful? Even Iman, an incredible beauty, said, "When I wake up in the morning, I don't look like Iman. This takes work." Have you ever felt beautiful? Yes, and that is real. My sisters and mother said, "Look at your family. Are we all insane? Is there any good in us?" The good is what you come from. And yes, some of your teachers are crazy or lousy. So do try your best to learn what you can and learn what not to do. That is just as important. My sisters and my mother, all of the people, challenged you to ask yourself if you're anything other than a good person, a young woman growing and trying to do her best, who may not be perfect, whatever that is, but is just fine as she is. You haven't come up with any reason yet in your 24 years to believe otherwise. Despite my best efforts and my failings as a mother who truly loves you, neither have I. We are both good and good enough. This letter was written by Linda Blount, National Vice President of Health Disparities. All right, so I have 4 minutes left. Let me see if I can find a shorter letter here. Let's see if I can get this one looks short enough, maybe. Okay. So this one has a quote before it says, "Try to maintain a positive outlook on life, even when you are a storm." And those of you who are just joining us, please thank you for joining the Girls Who Brunch Tour Facebook Takeover Live. This is to help young ladies who are at home quarantine who may not have access to, online school, to help keep them occupied. Today, I'm reading from the book Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book by T.P. Brooks. Okay. So yes, and I only have 30 minutes. I have like 3 minutes left. I'm gonna go as far as I can, and then I'll have to pick it up next Tuesday. Pick back up where I left off at. Ladies, when I sat down to write this letter, my mind was overloaded with random thoughts, memories, advice, and ideas that I felt I wanted to share. So in an effort to establish clarity and order while providing a helpful message, I offer you a list to aid with your journey in evolution into womanhood. Number one, always put God first. Prayer is a powerful tool when you use it and supports your faith, trust, and belief. Number two, love yourself. You must believe that you are smart and beautiful. Look in the mirror each day and acknowledge something that you like about yourself. Don't wait for others to compliment you, but when they do, always say thank you. Number three, respect your body. Exercise, eat food that is good for you, and do not allow anyone to abuse or misuse your body. Don't use drugs or abuse alcohol. They destroy your brain cells, your liver, and your ability to make good decisions. Always see your physician when you notice something irregular for annual examinations. Number four, abstinence is best for young single women. For those of you who have had sex, it is never too late to stop and reaffirm celibacy. If you decide to continue, protect yourself from contracting sexually transmitted diseases, infections, and pregnancy by always using condoms. If you do not have sex, you should undress, tease, and send mixed. You should not. Correction. If you do not want to have sex, you shouldn't undress, tease, send mixed messages, or mislead. No should mean no, but in control of your body and treat it with care. Number five, take full advantage of all opportunities to learn and grow. Education truly does level the playing field, and it provides options, opportunities, and the ability to earn substantial income. Speak correct English, take an etiquette class, use appropriate language, act like a lady, and use your indoor voice. Number six, manage your money wisely. Open a bank account, budget your funds, and always save a percentage of your income. Learn to be self sufficient. In your own society, money often brings power. You want to be independent and powerful. Number 7, select a mate who has just as much or more to offer as you. When you are ready to date, explore your options and don't settle for less than you desire. Look for positive qualities in a potential mate. Relationships take teamwork and willingness to give as well as receive. Seek someone who enhances your life. Number 8, let your light shine. We all experience adversities in our lives. Try to maintain a positive outlook on life. Even if you are in a storm, you must practice telling yourself that it will be okay. This too shall pass. No matter how low the liquid, my glass is half full. Number 9, hold true to your word. An honest, trustworthy person is often admired, sought after, and respected. Strive to always tell the truth and to keep promises that you make. Number 10, help others. Volunteer, visit senior citizens, read to children, help feed the hungry, and give to those in need. Number 11, learn how to cook, sew, and clean. A domesticated woman is a hot commodity. Child, she ain't lie there, especially these days. Practice cooking your favorite meal. Learn how to sew on a button, mend a torn garment, and clean an entire house. It is my prayer and hope that my list improved, enhanced, and empowered you in some way. Let it serve as your guide as you evolve into the strong, beautiful, smart woman you are destined to be. Peace and love to you always. Laverne Ware, licensed professional counselor. All right, everyone, my time is up. Thank you for tuning in to the Girls Who Brunch Tour, Facebook Live, Instagram Live Takeover. I am Mimi Palmer. Today I was reading from Letters of Encouragement, the scholarship book written by T.P. Brooks. I will pick up on the next letter next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Thank you all for tuning in. I send you peace, love, and blessings. And tune in at 5 p.m. today. At 5 p.m., we have Falia Beatty, who is coming on to talk about how to deal with loss and grief. And this young lady is my niece. And she is going to discuss the grieving process and loss as a teenager / young adult. She is on at 5 p.m. today. And then at 7 p.m., I'm doing my own workshop called Power of the Skirt. That's going to be a Facebook, Instagram Live as well. So keep in mind, 5 p.m., Girls Who Brunch Takeover with Falia Beatty, how to deal with loss and grief. And then at 7 p.m., I'm back on with Instagram and Facebook Live with Power of the Skirt. All right, y'all have a lot to do today being quarantined. So stay uplifted, stay encouraged. Sending you love, peace, blessings, and light.